Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're joining us from. Please do well to click on the subscribe button. Victory Channel brings you the latest news and events around the world. Here you will find the latest on IPOB, the agitation, Nnamdi KANU, and whatever has been said concerning the agitation. The news: blood of Nnamdi KANU. The man dies in all who keep silence in the face of tyranny. In any people that submit willingly to the daily humiliation of fear, the man dies. Wole Soyinka. Currently, there are allegations of maltreatment and taking of blood sample of Nnamdi KANU, the freedom fighter of indigenous people of Biafra IPOB, while in detention awaiting trial for treasonable felony. Some Nigerians have said a number of things in favor and against the IPOB freedom fighter, as well as the IPOB as a terrorist organization. From such comments, anyone can get the impression that many Nigerians are floating in the air with regards to the real issues taking place in the country. There had also been some gossip with regards to the death of late Dr. Obidia Malife, whose revelation earned him some chats with security operative. There was also a flashback that one military macho man who taught Ogoni people some lesson once boasted in public that he knew over 240 ways of killing human beings, one of which requires the blood sample of he who must die. So the issue of blood sample of anyone in detention raises a number of questions. Mystery of the blood current search in blood chemistry has advanced so far that DNA technology and cybernetics stand as means of doing great exploits in the art of killing human beings in Cold War. Without going too far into the issue, it is needful to say that blood is a bridge to life and death. Thus, there is more to vaccines and blood samples than what average Nigerians know. Particularly for the black race, there are secrets which would not see the light of day arising from unconventional research findings. Studies in eugenetics and cybernetics, especially as instruments of social control, has advanced to an alarming stage that Nigerian authorities must take interest in what is brewing in that sector. For example, through internet and other electromagnetic devices, some human beings can be connected, controlled, and sucked into the vortex of unimaginable global gangsterist groups. What will be required include blood radiation, fingerprints, national identity number, etc., etc. What is known as DNA mapping, which requires individual blood sample, includes knowledge of the right use of peculiar radiation from vegetables, plants, colors, and sound or tone to match with individual blood system for various purposes. What is known as ectoplasm, derived largely from plants, can serve the purpose of connectivity whereby all roads are open for psychic invasion. There is also a device known as superconducting quantum interferometer device, SQUID, used for detecting and interpreting the state of an individual's blood radiation and personal aura. These facts are being mentioned here because while we are engrossed with politics of stomach infrastructure, the rest of the human race are advancing fast, whereby the black race becomes the fall guy. In a predatory world, while not sounding alarmist, it is needful, as suggested by Professor Adeoye Lambo long ago, that Nigerian leaders and their advisors need to be subjected to mental clearance tests. We may not believe it, but it is true that infusing occult blood into target individuals is a practice that can be obtained for a fee without opening a can of worms. There is a need to warn Nigerians against talking glibly and carelessly, whereas we expose our utter ignorance in vital issues. As a global village, no country is an island, even when a nation chooses to operate as if it is free from global watch. Taking the detention of Nnamdi Kanu for an example, we find that his alleged arrest or abduction in a foreign country exposes Nigeria to a global watch, especially with some Nigerians allegedly volunteering huge reward to whoever would make such feat possible. The question has been asked repeatedly: is Nnamdi Kanu Nigeria's most biting challenge? A terrorist? Prior to 1966, skin watchers of the affair of Nigeria saw obvious signs and indicators that all was not well, unless something drastic was done to stop the trend. Therefore, the first military coup of January 15, 1966 was the culmination of a rising expectation of some drastic change. Surely that attempt was a failure, largely because of sabotage, characterized by pointing fingers in the wrong place. That same fall guy tactics and strategy features prominently in present search for why all is not well with the Nigerian state. Who fears restructuring? Similarly, the infusion of occult blood in political affairs is not a strategy which many Nigerians know about. This strategy involves the use of paid agents to create diversions, confusions, and diversion while something else is being perfected. When Nelson Mandela was leading the freedom fighters in South Africa, those hired to rubbish him were his own people. Martin Luther King Jr., as a freedom fighter for black emancipation in the US, was murdered by a black assassin hired and groomed by state spin doctors to eliminate the nuisance. Adds Sarawiwa, that old strategy of using members of your own household to infuse occult blood into your system as a prelude to kill you is still in vogue. Perfected. The British detective who led the investigation that resulted in late Chief Obafemi Awolowo facing a charge of treasonable felony left a note that would shock Nigerians. The role of Awolowo in an effort to sanitize Nigeria was also infused with occult blood, making him to become the best president that Nigeria ever had. Therefore, what is brewing in Nigeria would require clinical surgery to fix it right, especially where the complexity and duplicity are hidden away under the cloak of cancerous corruption. Surely, there are a few living Nigerians who were shown some glimpse of the shape of things to come, of which inably to match words with honest actions and the air of insecurity serve as accomplices globally. The inner caucus of national security apparatus is known to be an impregnable occult system, of which intruders who dare to approach can be infused with inexplicable virus. Therefore, it is dangerous to take on a titan in combat. Those who seek to know how the security cult operates should read Wole Soyinka's immortal book, The Man Died. Who wants to die a dusty death? A freedom fighter? The issue of Nnamdi Kanu's blood sample, if it was ever taken by anyone, should be of great concern to Nigerians, in the sense of an emerging practice of cyber terrorism. Similarly, the cult of witches uses blood as a vital bridge for psychic attack. The readers interested in this field of information can find and read the book Kabbalah with a New Accent. Dr. Arinze is a retired lecturer from the River State University of Port Harcourt. The broadcast is talking about Nnamdi Kanu, who has been in detention, and now there has been reports that his blood sample was taken from Nnamdi Kanu. Why would his blood sample be taken? That is one of the questions being raised here. And that Nigerians should not take it for granted that Nnamdi Kanu's blood was taken, because there have been issues where one person have come out to say that he knows 240 ways to kill a man, and one of them is by taking the blood sample. This report is really deep. It's saying also that there is a systematic way through science to take out blood sample and infiltrate that person with a kind of mind. The way they will do it is that your mind will be controlled. He even went ahead to call it an occult blood. Your mind will be controlled, and anything you're asked to do will be done. So what I don't know is it because Nnamdi Kanu is so keen and is standing firm on the fact that he wants Biafra, is fighting for the agitation of the people of Biafra? Is it why they have taken his blood sample? Do the Nigerian government want to control Nnamdi Kanu's mind? Do they want him to be under their spell? That whatever they ask him to do through scientific way, that he will start doing it. What has been written in this sample is very true, because I have come across such things before. On science, when you go deep into researching on some certain things you see on the internet, you will come across a lot of genetic manipulations like this. Blood sample, mixing blood samples with all sorts of other ecosystem samples, making it work the way you want it to work. I'm very sure there is something I missed. For this man to have come out to say this, he's warning everyone to be at alert. Blood sample have been taken from Nnamdi Kanu. For what reason? Why have they ordered his blood sample to be taken? So there is a kind of mechanism used here. It's a Cold War kind of thing. We should be ready. We should be on the alert. Let them not use his blood sample to work against him. You know. And now the article is also talking about using people of your own household. Everyone who is part of this Biafran agitation, everyone who is IPOB agitator, indigenous people of Biafra, should not allow themselves to be used. Because the truth is, what Nnamdi Kanu is doing is fighting for your freedom. Let nobody brainwash you and tell you that if you do this, we'll give, because sometimes money can exchange hands, and you will see people who are supposed to act right will be acting like animals. Remember what this will bring to you if eventually this is achieved. Nnamdi Kanu is suffering in there. A lot is going on with that young man. But at the end of the day, I'm happy that his mind have not been. His mind is still firm. And now we are hearing this blood sample issue. Please take notes. Let us not be carried away. Let us not be carried away. It is imperative to know that taking someone's blood sample while in detention, he has not complained of having any kind of illness. So I don't know why they have taken this blood sample rather. So please be watchful. Thank you for listening to Victory Channel.